All right. Hello. Welcome to Race Brain Podcast. My name is Rich Ryan, joined as always, Bracken Crocker saying hello. Jack Bauer here as well. Back in the Centennial State. I always forget, Jack. What's New Hampshire? Live free or die state?
I think it's just like live free or die state.
No,
the
it
Granite
has to
State.
have
The Granite State is actually what it is.
Granite. BK,
Yeah.
what's Wisconsin?
Struggling.
I know. See, I told you.
The Dairyland, baby.
The Dairy State.
America's Dairyland is what our license plates say.
It's not really.
I guess that's true.
Let's see what Wisconsin's state motto is. I should know this. Lisa taught fourth grade. This is what they do in fourth grade.
That was the Capitals, right? Fourth grade.
Everything. State rock.
I'm gonna give. I have the letter.
Oh,
it starts with an F.
Yeah,
you are.
I forgot about this. We just have a command. Forward.
I'm with that. I think that's legit.
It's great, but I don't think we follow it.
Is Wisconsin the state to be the forward state?
Stationary.
No, things hit us like 5 to 6 years. I'm trying to get this cam at the same time after they hit the coast. Everything, we are 5 to 6 years delayed on every trend. Everything. We are not forward. We are, I would say, shuffling or dragging our feet.
Taking your time.
Which I'm okay with. I'm old now.
You're going right into COVID lockdown pretty soon.
That was one of the best year and a half stretches of my life.
Just hanging out at home. Yeah. All right, squad. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about today. We have DEKA Fit Florida to recap. Jack Bauer was on site, was right in the thick of it for show.
We
have Spartan European Championships to just talk about quick. Then we are going to preview the Pan American Spartan Race Championships in Seattle, which is coming up, and I knew it was coming up.
So did everybody. It's all over Spartan's pages. The biggest race in this entire continent all year. No one knows it's happening.
A lot of people talking about it.
Remember when VJ was out here poking at BK, like, "Come on out, bitch. You'll get your work."
There was a lot of what groundswell of emotion. People trying to get an OG restoration project going, and he wanted to bring everyone out basically because he wanted to beat everybody in a 3K.
Just murder.
He's like, hey, we can run the beast the next day. That's fine, but I want everyone to come out of retirement so I can beat you all and say that I'm the best to ever do it. And then it just disappeared.
Is there? So let's start with DEKA Fit. We got Jack Bauer here with us, champion, taking that W, taking the flag now and Ram. Do they give you both?
They give you a flag, and I was really mad because when I did Sacramento earlier this year, third place, they gave that triangle wedge, and the only missing distance that I have without a triangle wedge or color, I guess, is gold for first place, and this is the first time they give that flag, and I'm like, come on!
It's a wedge like Spartan Race,
the metal one, yeah.
Do you think because they're
that camera following you?
Here's my my Sacramento third place because they didn't have a
marker. Wait, that's they just gave you the Spartan wedge now?
That was what they gave for DEKA.
What?
I wrote it. The name
you wrote it too.
Yeah.
They had a grab bag, and Jack got that.
Yeah,
it's like a white elephant.
Yeah.
Dude,
follow me,
side profile
camera.
Like this.
What's going on?
Lighting.
You look like
just keep going.
Like a recruitment poster now.
I think I do. So Jack was down there in DEKA Fit land getting flags or wedges or rams. And this was the final stop for DEKA Fit before this was the last US stop. There is one Australian race and a race in the UK, I believe, where athletes will be able to qualify for the World Championships, but domestically, and that's what we've seen. We've seen some international athletes come in the past, but it's generally a domestic endeavor. So we have close to the finalized list of the top 15 that DEKA has put together. But we got to talk about our guy, Jack Bauer, first, taking that win. Tell us a little bit about your experience down in Florida, Jack.
So this is going to be at the same exact venue that World Champs will be. This was a really good venue. I was very impressed.
Let's go.
Very bright, big open ceilings. They had it's at the World Equestrian Center in Ocala, and they apparently have like a ton of horse competitions and stuff throughout there, but they have like a probably 25 to 30 foot giant screen on each end of the arena. And while Xander was there streaming for OCR Report, you could see it live on either end. And they had the jumbo, or another jumbotron on the center where they had live splits going on. So there was a lot of actual live info for it. I think it's going to be a good one for Worlds.
If you want to put on an OCR or hybrid event, you cannot go wrong with an equestrian center. They just seem to get the job done everywhere we go.
What's the best equestrian center you've raced at for Spartan? I can think of two off the top of my head that I've been to.
So what do you have?
Virginia, the years after Wintergreen. Wintergreen?
Was it Pineland Farms or was it something else?
I forget. And then the Tryon in North Carolina.
Tryon's good.
Tryon is good. You guys got any? And these are my kind of courses too, because I mean they're not mountainous.
Seattle's a equine center, right?
Emerald City Open.
Yeah,
that's Emerald. We're just going nicknames of states. Is that what is that Seattle?
That's what NBC called it one year, the Emerald City Open.
Yeah.
So we love the venue. Jack Bauer takes the win in 31:30. John Howard was second, 32:35. Dustin Rudder, 32:40. To round out the top three here, Jack takes his position at, is it updated yet? Probably not. So you are right at 15.
Right now.
No roll down necessary.
Doesn't even need that.
So I'm gonna have to unplug this. There, you know how you guys were hearing that weird thing? Something's happening with mine as well right now. So give me a sec. Keep talking.
Oh my God, Jack and his tech. It's not going well today for Jack Bauer. On the women's side, it was Stephanie Hillman running a great race, 34:53. Bridget Brown in one of her most recent races back since having a daughter, it was 35:41. Brooklyn Nichols was 35:42. So that also puts Bridget pretty secure. Like, I think she's very close to that top 15. I think she will be able to find her way out south end. 35:41 is the time. And so that's right at 17 or 17 to 18 with Stephanie's time moving up. So she should probably get a roll down if we don't get athletes coming overseas like Michaela, Tania. So
Spain in general.
There's only one Spanish athlete, Munsta Suro, and then Michaela, and then Tania. So there's three international athletes. And that's if Lauren Weeks decides to do it, which we're not quite sure if she will or not, but looks like Bridget should get a roll down into there. And then
she's local also, so that she would 100% attend, I imagine.
She would definitely go.
Yeah.
She would definitely go. And then Stephanie Hillman with 34:53 puts her right around 11th.
Yeah. She looked really impressive out there. I was impressed. It's the first time I've seen Brooklyn Nichols also in person, and her burpees, you do not want her in the burpee zone with anywhere near you.
She improves on her time as well. She was at 36:0, now at 35:40.
And we kind of expected her to take a little bit of an increase after we saw Mark Paulzine for the ultra race. He moved his PR up a ton, and then same with Brooklyn right here.
So we'll see if she gets in. She'll be right on the cusp. It'd be great to see her get in after she was Triple Crown winner last year at a younger age group as well. I believe she's only
18 to 24 last time.
Yeah,
she's either right at 25 or still in that younger age group.
Yes, it's 24.
24.
So that's great to see. So if she will move up into the Elite 15. Are we saying Elite 15? Deka dozen plus 3?
Yeah, Deka dozen plus 3.
I thought Deka dozen was fine.
Do they have a name for it at all?
A Baker's Deka dozen. I don't know.
Baker's dozen.
Because we've had 12, then 20, then 15 for the 3 years for how many athletes have gotten in.
All right. And then, so Jack, we talking about it?
Let's talk about it.
Jack's cheating ass.
Right
Cannot physically run a DEKA without some sort of controversy.
Something happening.
It always happens. And we even had the new judge, Dave Claxton, on the show a few days beforehand. And I was like, I'm not going to be the one who's, going to cause some controversy, And I was joking. I'm like, it's not on the West Coast. So it must be an ocean related thing or, a coastal related thing.
Cheating, not trying. People, okay. I say that and people get mad at me when I say that sometimes, like I'm being serious. BK, what's the most you've ever cheated during an event?
Well, I flat out skipped a set of burpees at the 2012 Spartan World Championships.
Later, what, like failing something, or just you were supposed to do burpees as a station?
I failed some.
Wait a minute. This is the one where you podiumed at the World Championship.
Correct.
Yeah.
We count this, Jack. If you want to,
Jack, if you were a listener, Rich gets a pass because he doesn't even pretend to care about what Kirk and I have to say. But if you were a faithful listener, like you claim, you would know this story.
I guess I'm not.
Too many
Lap
stories.
2, when I went back out for the ultra with no fuel, and I
know that one.
Delirious mode. This is when it happened on lap 2. And I got to the Tyrolean and I was slurring my words so badly they wouldn't let me do the Tyrolean because they didn't think I'd be able to get out of the water afterwards. So I just like trudged like a sad little kid around to the other side of the pond to do them. And as I'm sitting here, unable to even comprehend 30 burpees in that moment, someone gave me a power bar, one of the other open class racers, and I ate it.
Really? Like you could eat something like that in that moment?
I hadn't eaten.
Tough to digest.
It had probably been 2 hours since my last gel. And all I had done is like suck the remnants of wrappers from the barbed wire crawl because I left for lap 2 with no fuel after 3 hours of racing.
Like it was a raccoon deep, picking stuff off the ground.
Yeah. I was deep into a bad place. Like I couldn't hear very well anymore. I had tunnel vision. I was slurring. And they gave me one of those like vanilla Rice Krispie power bar flavors. I don't know what it's called.
I like the vanilla flavor.
It went down so fast.
Not at that moment though.
And it felt like I put a heated blanket on it, just like, whoop. I was like, do you have another one? He's like, yeah. And he gave me one and I just took off right up the mountain, eating it, going through rolling mud. And like 10 minutes later, I was like, oh no, I skipped 30 burpees. And I did 30 burpees on the side of the mountain and then continued on.
You did? You were like, that was back when the integrity of
Honor
Spartan.
code.
Were they April D level burpees or,
They were my level burpees, but I was at like a 35% grade.
Yeah.
So your chest to ground is like basically just leaning forward.
Just push-ups.
But so I completed the task and like it was a net 0 in terms of did I skip burpees or not. However, had I been forced to do 30 burpees at the time, I might have quit the race. I might have cramped out or something because I couldn't even function. So I certainly gained a massive advantage there.
There was in our...
They didn't pay me, so it didn't matter.
At our North American Championship run, BK, you and I, Matt made that big deal about having the sandbag on one shoulder, which I don't I don't think that's really cheating. That's just like, who cares?
It was not in line with... The rules were vague. We went over that on this show. It was the purpose is that once it's on your shoulders, you can't bring it down to like rest it on your knee. Like you can't deload your shoulders during the carry, but letter of the law, it said it has to be across both shoulders. And
that's
mine
high
wasn't.
rocks for the listeners.
Yeah. So I did cheat that as well.
And I'm just walking. I put the walking lunges. I'm
Rich
taking
just
steps.
Shuffle. It's doing that Philly shuffle.
That big time steps for the walking lunges.
But I think that's the most I've cheated, Jack.
Or failing over, under, through, and negotiating burpees.
The old over.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
and Rich, you handed Lindsay a spear once. Like you're not supposed to do stuff like that.
She cheated. That's not my fault. She cheated. Not me.
That's true.
Yeah, he's her spear plug.
So Jack, you're on the tank.
Yep.
Take us through.
All right, so the race is going on. I get to the sled push, first place, and I'm just starting to push. And I don't know how big of a gap, like 30 seconds or so at that point on second place. And I'm just pushing, and I'm just going back and forth, and I hear the guy who was the judge say like, oh, another couple more and you're done. And I think what he was referring to was done with the length, and now it's time you're done with the pull. and it's time to push. But in my mind, I just heard like, you're done, because I wasn't counting. You're on that thing for 2.5 minutes. It seems idiot proof, but apparently it's not. And
Can't be.
I just took off at 4, didn't realize it, finished the race. No one said anything. My family was there. Audrey was there. After the award ceremony, a couple of hours later, we get in the car, we drive to Tampa, and we go to the beach, open up my phone for the first time because I just didn't want to be on it too much after the race. And Dylan's like, awesome job. Except you only did 4 laps. And I was like, what? So this is like 4 or 5 hours the first time I hear anything about it. And I'm like, there's no way. So I just pull up my phone, watch a couple minutes, and I'm like, well, I did not do my sled in a minute 53 if it's 5 laps, or minute 52, whatever it came out to be. And I couldn't believe that I only did 4 laps out of 5.
What do we got going on in the background here?
I'm stationary.
That's rich. Nice.
For what?
You fiddling?
Yeah,
You can hear that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like banging a can or something.
It's my
It
mouse.
might be this platform.
Yeah, it's strange that picks it up.
Dylan was on you.
Dylan was on me.
Nicely, but he's just too dialed into metrics of hybrid sports. There's no way around it. You're averaging 28 seconds per lap, and there's no way you would have come out at that, and you cheated. And it's you're a great guy, but you're also a scumbag, and he's on it.
Ass.
Yeah, and yeah. What do you guys think? Did you watch it live or?
No,
I've not caught it.
All right,
I've not caught it.
I genuinely had no idea. It sucked because I was like, sweet, I set a PR, and I reached the ski erg, which is about the halfway point in the race time wise, like 25-30 seconds faster than I ever had during a race. So seeing my split getting off the sled, it seemed to be in line with where that would have been based on how I was earlier in the race. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess 31:30, 31:40, that's reasonable to finish in at this point because I'm ahead of pace, I'm not dying. So the metrics seemed okay. And then when I crossed the finish line, I was like, sweet, big PR. And I was pumped. But I guess it was about 28 seconds too fast.
And that's what we're talking about with courses and high rocks. No one would ever believe that the course was easy because it feels right.
Right.
That felt right to you. And then you were aware enough to say the stats don't support me being done in that amount of time on there. But it puts some wheels in motion, which made for, like, we were watching a telenovela on our group chat, Rich and I. You were in it, so it probably wasn't entertaining to you, but it was just like a ping pong match back and forth of,
oh yeah,
what are they going to do about this? And they switched a few times. You had to have been stressed out.
Let's just say my vacation got a little more stressful for a couple hours, and basically they were like, I talked with Yancey, talked with Dave, and it was like, all right, not sure what we're gonna do. It's quite obvious that there's an infraction, and initially the thought was going to be either a DQ or a time penalty, because there's a time penalty in the rules about if you miss a rep, because a rep in the rules is written as 1 down and back, and it's minute 30 penalty. And then after going back and forth talking with Rich, and Rich is like, he wasn't on this call, but I just called up Rich just to kind of vent with him. He's like, they screwed up, and like, it's not your fault at that point. They had judges there, and it's just like a missed call in the NFL or anything else. It's like, it sucks that it happened, but it's, as long as it's not like a malicious intent, obviously I didn't do it on purpose. It's a missed call at the end of the day. Call back Dave, and he's like, all right, we decided, we said we're not using video review earlier this week. I'm staying firm on that stance. If I start applying individual decisions to individual situations, now that's very selective interpretation of the rules, we're just going to own it. It was a missed call, and that's how it is. So we're just going to leave the result as is.
So my first question is, how did they find out originally? Did your judge, was he or she aware of it, or did they find out from outside sources?
No, if you watch the judge, there were 2 judges, and the person who was in the lane next to mine, the judge stayed on the end instead of walking with the athlete. And I think that my judge, who had like a hat on, thought that he had to keep track of 2 lanes. So he had like, this hand had 3 fingers, this one had 2 fingers, and he was like keeping track of both of them, and wasn't really saying like, oh, 1 lap left. It's just, light encouragement as you're reaching the end and the turnaround point and stuff. But yeah, it was, if you watch the video, like, I'm done. I throw the ropes. No effort was made to be like, hey, you only did 4 or anything. And at that point, it's like, trust me, I had no idea. And I was like, I just need to break 31:41. And I'm really close if I don't crank out these burpees, because that was the 15th time at the time. So I just took off at that point without realizing what was going on.
And that's the thing, right? If they didn't catch it in the moment, if it wasn't your judge that was giving you this infraction in real time, then yes, it's just a missed call. And that was the thing that we've been hypercritical about with the Spartan race and now DEKA that's taken this on. And that was something that Dave did say on this very podcast, like, hey, we're not going to use video to put punishments in place retroactively unless it's a safety infraction, right?
Exactly.
And that wasn't the case, right? So when that was kind of going through it, and when we were talking, it was like, that's not in line. And we looked at the rules. BK, we were like deep in it.
We were reading section 4.12.4, all that stuff.
And there was like a section about protest period, and also something about how Spartan, or I'm just gonna call him Spartan, how Spartan can DQ people beyond this period, but it would have to be like a failed drug test or malicious intent, or what was the other one?
Specific wording.
Yeah, there was like malicious intent, or
that was conduct.
Yeah, so I've got
one other word that was like, oh, it's definitely not. You definitely did not do this.
No. Let me pull up my text. Okay, so 4.12.5, DEKA reserves the right to continue penalty resolutions post-event and change event standings or race day decisions immediately after an event in cases of unsportsmanlike conduct, no, and or intentional, no, or malicious breaking of the rules, no, including but not limited to failing of anti-doping or drug control protocols administered by DEKA or third-party designation by drug control. Yeah, so it didn't meet that.
So my question still is, how did it come to their attention?
Oh, Dave got a couple messages like in the, several hours after the
from
event.
People watching the stream. Yeah. So, and then this is basically what the group chat, and the group chat consists of a bunch of people in the hybrid space, people who kind of can be trusted to have an objective look at this kind of thing. And the sentiment seemed to be, either way, someone's getting screwed.
Yes.
If they punish you, we're supposed to be in charge of our own reps. Sucks that you didn't.
And I screwed up.
Count.
There's
but your judge sent you off and didn't say anything, and then didn't say anything during the race. So there's no way to rectify it in the moment. And if they don't punish you, the next person who gets bumped out by your time is getting screwed. So either way, it's a not good situation, but the only way to actually handle it, not in our opinion, based off the words that they said 3 days before the race, was that you can't use video review unless it's a safety issue. So regardless of whether you like the decision or not, they did stick to their words. And that's about all we ever want out of an organization, is to stick to your words.
And yes, like that is true. There's going to be someone who's 16 here who may have been 15 otherwise, but we're not scrubbing everyone else's results here. Like things like this could have happened to literally everybody else all the way through, and
the entire season. It's like if you've got your eyes on Isaac winning a race and now the camera shifts to him a station later, who knows what's going on behind it.
Exactly. So like this stuff could be happening all the way through the top 20 or 30 people. And probably there are some cases where there was some time shaved here or there, but that's just sports, man.
Now, I'm not going to take that stance. I'm not going to defend Jack. Cheating, skeeving, conniving individual in front of us.
That saves way more time than 30 burpees is a lot of time that you would have saved there, BK. But that saves way more time than shuffle steps or one shoulder sandbag.
I will say this opened up the door to, if you're going to skip a rep, that's a good rep to skip.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the same penalty, if a rep is a rep is a rep.
Well, if you get caught, on that one, it's 90 seconds, which is probably a minute longer.
That's true.
Than what it would actually take.
So the
rules that Jack wrote.
Yeah. So the thing that's really weird on like you look at the split data, this was happening. John Howard and I were at the start line and our watches were going like berserk. It wouldn't connect Bluetooth to get our heart rate monitors, everything. And that was happening to a few people. And some of the timing mats, that like I always wear it on my left wrist, it was picking up at various checkpoints. So my run and stuff around that and a few other zones earlier in the race just have weird time splits where it'll be like 50 seconds for a run and this whatever ops or whatever zone it is will be like 3 minutes. So normally what they do like Nita, she's at the timing tent, they have a bunch of just flags where it's like this zone was really, really fast. You know, you did this in a minute 50 when we're expecting something to be 2:20 or longer or whatever. They'll flag that. But because some of the timing splits were off, that probably made it a little bit difficult for them to do, like the auto screening after a race.
So, congrats, Jack.
Yeah, let's not let this overshadow the fact that you won the race, and you would have won the race.
You would have won it either
regardless.
way. You took care of business.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
So that's
I think
the main thing.
all things considered, I showed up and I was like, I'm not used to being the favorite in a field like this. Usually I'm doing the John Howard method where stick back, run an intelligent pace. A few people are going to fade and I'll pick people off towards the end. But this, it was like, okay, first shout out to Dustin Rudder. He pushed the pace. He's a fantastic runner. And he kept the pace very honest for like the first half. And like I said before, I went out far faster than I typically do. And that really kept, lit a fire under me to keep going. But yeah, it was a weird feeling to kind of be in the front and just know that I'm racing the clock at that point.
Mm-hmm. Well, and this, if we were the governing body on how qualification for hybrid worked, we would have already removed time qualifiers and only made it punch in your ticket by finishing in X positions at races. So this would have done that either way. Yeah, I know we're doing some mental gymnastics to justify why you're in, but you are. You won the race regardless.
You're our boy, and we're got you back.
Don't
and
forget
at the
about
end
it.
of the day, when things were first started, racing was not brought into existence to see what time you could run.
Right.
Initially, it was to see who was fastest point to point, and you were fastest point to point, even if you cheated your face off to get there.
Cheating.
So intense. Your text coming in the mail. No, so if you just look at the top 16 or top 15, so right now I'm 15th with this time after the missed time, but like Dylan was saying, I was doing my reps in 27, 28. Let's just call it 30 seconds for an extra rep, adding a couple seconds for fatigue. That puts me at like 32 flat, which would be 17th or 18th. Chances are we're not going to have 7 or 8 guys from Spain coming over.
Right.
All things considered, yes, I would have needed a little bit of help, but it's very likely I would have got a roll down, not just playing devil's advocate there.
Dude, how about you busting Tomash's ass? Tomash was was he 12th at Worlds? You're going to be 11th at High Rocks Worlds this year, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the Spanish fleet is not going to sail. Like they're not all coming over.
I think we'll see a couple. I would love to
but you
see...
think 5 are coming? No, you would have got in either way.
Well,
probably. But someone's still going to get bumped out because of you. And I hope you hear about it from them and their family members and their burner accounts.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it gets stressful. I hope life gets worse before it gets better.
It's been a bad year, so I hope not.
Yeah. All right, and shout out to gotta get our screen.
Yeah, let me just add one other
screen. 1 second. I gotta adjust this cam.
Yeah. Why I got a full? What's wrong? Just me.
So yeah.
All right, give me a sec.
Why? We're not in this. We're here.
Oh, Bracken sidewall. We saw it.
Yeah, I don't want you seeing sidewall.
Man,
you see your sidewall to see.
You see it now.
Yeah.
All right.
So one other thing just on the officiating, I will say there was like an atmosphere of don't screw up that Dave definitely he brought to the table. Like people during the starting corral knew that stuff was more serious, and during the lunges, he was on a pivot, looking at athletes throughout. I think he did a really good job of instructing what needed to be done for proper form. Like after the men's race, I was watching the women's race, and I was in the like the box jump overs, for instance, and he went to Bridget Brown midway through. He's like, that rep doesn't count. Something went wrong. He's like, you need to end on this side at 21. And he told his judge right on the spot. make sure she gets to 21. Like he was enforcing things very well. Burpees looked clean. I feel like they've looked a lot better this whole year as a whole. But I feel like athletes took it more seriously, even if they can't count to 5. And I think that it is a good thing that there is, the form police there, because made a difference.
Shout out to Dave Claxton out there doing work for the people.
Yeah.
We
I feel bad it happened
that.
on his first day.
I was about to, because we were going to get on here and slam him if you were going to get DQ'd. It was going to be on. I was actually mad. I was like,
no, I was on the phone
I
with
was
you.
legitimately mad.
Yeah.
Well, we got the message that there's nothing they can do about it. And then we got the message that, hey, there's going to be a penalty because they went to the video. We're like, we just said we're not doing video. Yeah. And then they did the right thing.
Yes.
By you, not by the other guy.
So we will keep our eyes on the international DEKA Fit results to see if that's going to shake anything up.
Yeah.
And the declaration period is usually shortly after the season, I believe.
Yeah. I believe it was October, because I know that I had my knee. I started running late September, early October last year. And I remember I'm like, I'm not going to register if I can't at least do a 5K run at this point after my knee injury. So I believe it was a couple months before Worlds.
And I do just want to say, we're going to give you shit for this, but truly congratulations. Yeah. A win is a win, and they are not easy to come by. And this year, every year post COVID has been harder and harder to win races anywhere. The fields are deeper, people are fitter, the sport has grown. Getting a win is a massive accomplishment. So congratulations.
All accomplished. Great
Thank
work.
you. Yeah.
Doing it in ultras is like doing it with a weight vest on.
Those I felt so good in those. Those were
what do you got?
Well, Jared Newby runs in a weight vest and he runs fast.
Would you have the Vanish? No, you definitely didn't even have the Vanish R's. No way.
No.
The Vanish, not the BK. What are the Ultra
Riviera 4
called?
Yeah.
Ultra or the Vanish something, right?
Yeah, Vanish Carbon something.
Vanish Tempo, Vanish Carbon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Let's get you a pair of super shoes. And then you're gonna run like
Stephanie Hillman works for
30, 20.
Ultra, so I might reach out to her, see what happens.
She does. I thought she was working for
she was with Hoka until recently.
And then she was with the sock company.
Something, yeah.
One of the wool.
You might be faster in wool socks than ultras.
I'm wearing some wool socks right now.
Yeah. My wrist is fast.
I don't care what they say about temperature regulating. Doesn't work that way on my feet.
They're
sweat
too hot.
my face off
They are
with socks on.
They are way too hot. The merino wool, whatever. They're definitely
cools you when you're hot, heats you when you're cold. No, it
definitely doesn't.
Sweat my face off.
They are warm. They are very warm socks.
Yeah.
On to Spartan Race European Championships held somewhere in Austria. We're not sure.
Oh, we know. It's in the west side of Austria, right?
It has to be if it's in the mountains.
Yeah. No, you gave us Geography Corner last week, so it
was correct.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Gregory Basilico takes the win in 2:47. Yes, this is a beast. 2:47. That's
like Tahoe used to be 2:20, 2 teens for the winner. This is
must have been
some climbing.
This must have been a course. Thibaut Jean was 2:51.54. Luca Pescolderong was 2:52.15.
And he showed up. I thought he was out.
He said he was going to try to do the impossible, which basically was race 3 weeks after his fracture.
That top 3 spread was not large.
No,
not too large.
Tells me this had to have been techie. Right? With the time it took and with the spread, it could not have been mountain running. It had to have been a lot of mountain hiking and scrambling.
Yep.
All right, real quick, this is what we have to do. We got to see about our power rankings. Luca Pescolderong has to drop.
He lost.
Does he just move down and we put T-ball here? Or does
he drops?
So here's the argument.
He has to drop.
We kind of use this for Ulrika. It's like what matters, the wins or not DNFing or whatever. So Luca beat Thibaut Jean in the Morzine Ultra by a big margin, and he just lost barely while pretty much dealing with an injury by a minute in this race.
3 weeks after a fracture.
And
Still lost.
Luca also got 4th earlier this year in the big Lula race. But if we're going by recency bias, he just lost head-to-head. Like, how can you not rank someone who just beat you head-to-head ahead of that person?
Here's our problem. What we need is a slider that goes along a timeline at a set interval. And each week it moves 1 week, and we can see what's eligible for currency, meaning current timeline for eligibility for power rankings.
Okay.
Because if it's a 1 week time, if it's a month, I mean, if it's 3 months, Atkins is off here. Albin is off here. If it's 1 month, Ocala is off here. So 1 week, I don't think can be enough that he drops behind people who have not raced.
Well, he's going to drop behind.
I have an argument for Tebow jumping up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I
think
think
not necessarily ahead of him.
Why wouldn't he be ahead of him? He just beat him. He literally just crossed the finish line.
So, like, again, what is our window of time?
Well, I think it's like the Bengals played terribly.
Just lost to the Patriots.
They lost to the stinky ass Patriots.
Bums.
And Joe Burrow is probably like a little hurt. T. Higgins didn't play. Jamar Chase was kind of light, but they got beat. So you can't be like, oh, the Bengals are better than the Patriots. They're not.
No, but it's also week 1. What if it was week 7 and they already beat them twice this year, but they just lost in week 7 and we power ranked week 7? That's more what this is like.
I think
they won't play 3 times.
This is a recency type rankings.
How recent though is my question, because we have people who haven't raced in this.
Let's do a track and field analogy. Sydney McLaughlin rarely races. Let's say she goes 8 months between races. Are you putting her as number 1 in the 400 hurdles power rankings, no matter how long she goes away?
Not how long, but
yes.
What if her last race was 8 months ago? Does that matter? Because that's basically what Atkins and Albin, their last race was.
Beat it, but they didn't get beat head to head. I mean, like, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Like where Atkins is right now, but he just hasn't raced.
I'm just thinking of athletes like Balaam Bean, for instance, who has 2 national series podiums. Sean Roberts, who just won the Savage Race series. Like, they have done more recently and won than, like, of course, Atkins and Albin, we know what we're going to get from them if they decide to race, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, but you're not going to put like Anna Cockrell in front of Sydney McLaughlin because she's raced more often.
I know. This is the problem with power
it's more discussion.
We just need to know what our parameters are.
Yeah.
Power Nikolai Dam's out.
Okay, but Atkins beat Gregory Basilico head-to-head in the only time that he has raced this season. So how can he be behind Gregory? But Gregory just won European Championships and beat pretty much everybody on the slip, like, who decided to race.
So because of the nature of OCR, that we don't always get people racing a lot. I suggest I present to the panel that we use a 9-week rolling window. I'm open to counters for that, but I think we need a rolling window so that when we remove someone like Ryan Atkins off the list, we can simply say 9 weeks. This is like the High Rocks window. We just need a date that beyond this, your results no longer count.
I think you need 3 months. Not 9 weeks is a little
12
too short.
Okay, 12 week.
4th of the year, basically, yeah.
And then we need a second ruling from our fearless commissioner. Does recency trump that 12-week window? So let's say Tebow and Luca. Let's say that Luca is 3-1 against Tebow, but the 1 is this week. Is he 3-1, or is he like 2-2, or is it reverse 1-3 because of what recently happened? Does each month count more than the previous month?
Well, let's look at it in terms of prestige of the race. This is the European Championship. If you beat him on, by 1 minute at a local race where maybe someone just failed an obstacle, had to do a penalty loop, he ran clean, whatever. These are the big dogs.
Correct. But we can also say he raced for almost 3 hours and lost by 1 minute with a broken bone. Like, if we're being subjective, we can be super subjective.
Okay.
I think the more recent
results should matter.
Yes. So what were their 2 previous? What were the 2 most previous times they've met?
July for Morzine.
And what was the gap?
10 to 20 minutes, sometime in that range.
Also twice the distance.
Twice, yeah.
So call it 5 for this length.
Yep.
And then prior to that,
I still think you've got to go local. Most recent one.
you do, but I'm saying if he beat him significantly twice and he nipped him once in a 3-hour race, does that slingshot him ahead? I just want
yes.
okay. And if that's how we're looking at it, I'm okay. But we're gonna have to base our decisions like that moving forward.
Because now what are we gonna do with the women's race? Because that's a pretty different as well.
Well, first we have some housekeeping to do. Anyone who's beyond 12 weeks is off.
Yeah. So bye Atkins, bye Albin. Hawk Call, Utah. That's still within the window.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll do that later. Let's talk about this. Is I'm glad we're setting these parameters, but we don't need that.
Well, we can update it next
power
week.
Rankings stink.
We can do this next week. We're setting the mold because we have the big race in Seattle this week for adding some North American athletes to it.
Big race.
On
the women's end, Zuzana Kokomova bringing it back, reversing the clock.
45 years old.
3:30:09. Andrea Berquez.
Andrea Berquez. Yeah.
Berquez. Finishing second in 3:36, and then it was Estelle Horta Bagiova in 3:39. This was surprising. Surprising. And we must say last week we sat here and talked at length about the battle between Elricky and Esther, and Elricky ended up pulling out just before the race started.
Which we also talked about, that it was going to come due at some point.
Called it.
She actually ended up racing a local race that wasn't a crazy mountain race, but she shut down her season. She was actually supposed to be in Colorado Springs this upcoming weekend, along with Leon and Signy and a couple other. She was going to make the trip over here, but she just canceled her trip to the U.S. because her body's just wrecked. Yeah,
and it's a mature decision because when you're on tilt with big races, it's enticing to show up and keep trying to win. But she just said, listen, it took I didn't expect to be here in the first place. I didn't expect to be accomplishing these things. I'm going to take what I did. My body is done. It needs a break, and I'm taking that break. And that is a mature decision.
Yeah, and she's dealt with injuries. She had her elbow injury here. She had like a hip issue before Worlds last year or the year before. So she's had overuse or freak injuries, and just rest up, save it. I think she's planning on going to Croatia. That'd be, she just won the FISO 3K. So that should be a very good distance for her and local. So rest up, race in a few weeks.
All right. So what do we do with Zuzana? Let's take a look.
Goat her.
Oops.
Yeah.
Put her at the top.
I guess like just stamp her and Lindsay 1-2. They just can't ever leave.
Yeah. Well, Nicole also, but
I mean, do we put her reserved? I don't
know. Nicole just raced and didn't look like 1 or 2.
Well, yeah, she's 3 right now.
She does have Seattle, which is probably.
I don't think we can ding Elricky for this, right? They didn't race head to head, and she's had a crazy run. Alyssa, who also wasn't in this race,
fantastic season,
crazy season.
Yeah,
highest we can put her is 3
or 4, I'd say.
I'm happy with 4.
Has Nicole raced Esther this year? At Alula, right?
Alula, and she won.
Beat her there.
Head to head.
Outside of our window.
Yeah. But Nicole did have
next time.
Yeah.
So I think 4 is fair.
Yeah. Because Nicole.
But what a 4 it is. Show up and win Euros.
Yeah.
Yvonne's off.
I think that Esther has a significant head-to-head matchup lead this year, but because we're going on recency, Zuzana has to be ahead of her.
Yes.
But Zuzana does have National Series podium this year prior to this.
Hold on. How did Lisa Musacchio do?
She was like 8th to 10th, roughly. 8th, yeah.
Okay, so we need to change that then as well. Someone needs to.
So
Andrea should be put on.
So I talked with Lisa. She said it was all right. A beast. Guess how far the distance was?
15 miles.
14.
16.5. Guess how much elevation gain?
Yeah, for that time, I'd still guess 5.
4,000.
7,000.
7,000.
7,000 at 16 miles is suddenly fast for that time.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But she said it was harder in Killington, in her opinion. She had an off day, travel, jet lag, that definitely got to her. But some of those carries and just the obstacles are a little bit different. She got, slack line, but the chains were a little bit surprising with how hard they were. I wish they had those in the
both
US.
those. Not easy to see those on the side of a mountain an hour and a half into a race and not be like a well-oiled machine on those.
All right. So then Andrea looks like she's going to have to be here, 6th.
Six or 7. Suppose it has to be 7 based off our recency.
She just beat Esther.
It's so hard to break away from ranking people historically and only do power. Yes, 6.
So Lisa's off as well. All right. Great work.
And the Elite 11 remains.
The Elite 11, the Power 11. Power 11. Something's going on with Jack. Jack's having all sorts of tech issues today. I'm over here looking amazing.
Yeah.
Dude, come on.
You've been hacked.
Get that together. I'm over here looking amazing, sounding amazing.
This is an OCR, but it's just such a delightful story. My dad sits down with his laptop and he goes, "Oh, man. I just clicked on another one." He had his district, he is retired but still working in the district. They send out fake phishing emails to see who clicks on them. And he had failed his 4th of the calendar year. So now he has to do an online training.
Oh my god. He's like, "Oh no. What are they
that's my 4th one
out there? What are they getting them to click on?"
I don't know. It's just like it's from the district, but not their actual email appearance. And it says something to click on, like, "We need your feedback on whatever," or, it's something that I'm doing a bad job representing it, but it's just a phishing email.
I'm going to send this. I'm going to start doing this to you, BK. Be like 50% off Puma Fastroids. Like, oh shit. Let me click on this.
It'd have to come from like rich@ryan.com or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he failed his 4th one and now he's got to go and do an online training. This is a 70-year-old man who's retired twice. Like, he doesn't have access to sensitive things. Let him ruin his Chromebook every 4 months. It's fine.
That's amazing. All right. So we have the Pan American Championships coming up in Seattle. We love Seattle for a course. It is the beast distance, correct?
Yes. I have never been to the Seattle race. So,
and is it at the
Snohomish?
Yes. Okay, great. It's a great course. Has a little bit of everything. It should be a beautiful time of the year there. And maybe it starts to get a little bit cloudy and rainy, which just adds to the appeal of a course in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm okay with having it be rainy there.
Well, I've got a weather. You got
a weather app? You can tell.
I can tell. It's looking like
it's got a weather guy.
54 for the low in the morning.
Okay, so it'll at least be dewy.
Precipitation.
What about the lead-in? Any rain in the lead-in?
Wednesday, dry on Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
But looks like high 60s, low to mid 40 or 50s.
This could be very fast. This could be a screaming fast course on this day.
So this is man. Suddenly I'm losing my voice.
What's going on with this?
On the way home from dropping off Braden to school, we watched a small little terrier get sideswiped by a car running down the middle of the road. So we stopped. Lisa opened the door, called to it. It ran right over. She picked it up, and we drove it to our house.
You have a dog now?
It was okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was just it just got scraped up a little bit. It got like sideswiped. The car was braking. It was like a 35 mile per hour street. It just avoided disaster, but it was 1 block from our house. So we took it in, and it just had to stay in our kitchen area because you can't go in by Toby. Can't have a terrier and
Yeah, I
a
was gonna
bunny
say how
in
the
the same
bunny,
room.
how's the bunny?
So,
Like in
but
the-
I'm allergic to dogs. And I haven't been around
Oh.
a dog in a long time. And so now it's just like Dandertown frolics around here.
Ah, shoot.
Thing was
Samples.
shedding like crazy.
You
So
got bunny hair is good though.
it was a little bit less, and I got
hypoallergenic.
used to it.
Yeah.
Cats.
Cats get my eyes.
I
Cats
can't
are-
do cats.
cats are the
Cats
worst.
mess me up.
Anyway, so we had a dog in our house this morning, and now I'm getting a little bit of the throat stuff going.
You guys
But
just doing
anyway,
your good deeds. That's really
this
nice.
race suddenly may not be the deepest, but it suddenly has some of the most intriguing matchups we could
Yes.
have in OCR for this style of course.
Got
We're going to see
speed.
some fast horses galloping.
Jack has the.
I said we
let's-
do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do
Check
it.
out. Let's pop up the wheel of names here. Check out what the wheel of names
Yeah.
look like right now. It's
So while we do that, Rich, then Lisa and the girls were doting all over it. And so I went out to see who was looking for a dog. So we found
You got tags?
no, there were no tags.
No tags.
So I
Microchip.
just go look. So, but there's a lady looking. Turned out she was pet sitting.
Oh my
So that
god!
could have
Bad
gotten
job.
real bad.
That's a negative score on Rover. You don't want
Tander
that.
right here. So we just went to Florida, my family, and they have a Yorkie. And the pet sitter locked herself out of the house on night 1. And at like 9 p.m., taking our dog for a walk, and the police
Ooh.
had to be called, and the locksmith, and it was a
Oh,
several-hour ordeal.
So who pays for that?
So
Locksmith?
my brother's a police officer, and he actually got the police department to help him out right there. So
Look at that.
yeah.
See, cops just don't
We got
follow the
lucky.
rules.
That's another thing that you can get scammed on is locksmith stuff. I've heard that's like a thing. Check out the wheel of names. Most recently, what we had on here, just newbie.
That's fantasy draft.
So we do a fantasy football in my family with just the kids, Lisa, myself, usually a stuffed animal to make it an even number. And now my parents and siblings have joined, but we do a wheel of names now, and it is a
Let's
highlight of
go.
the draft.
Of course it is. The
We do
highlight
an
of
offline
everyone's-
draft.
We're ready to roll.
Big
Look at
time.
the advertisement right there. Tell me about
The
those
Mach X2.
Hokas.
I got a pair. I
Okay.
can tell you everything. What else? What do you need to know?
Is it the
Is
best
it worth it?
overall road shoe Hoka's ever made?
That's a great question. I mean, I like it for general runs, like your regular zone 2. I would maybe do a tempo run in them, but the weight is up there.
Mhm.
But the upper is much improved.
Is it better than the Clifton?
Oh yeah.
Clifton was the standard all around road shoe.
I mean, if you're
Better
not,
than
if
the Rincon.
you're-
Rincon.
Rincon, that I have that. I forget. They have a basically a the one we were talking Sky. It's not Sky Flow. Sky something. That is basically a Clifton with a Peepa foam. That's what
That
I
might
mean.
be
It's still like it's big though. This is the Mach X is like even a little.
Mach
more
might
stuff.
just be their best.
It's
their
a good
best thing
shoe.
they've ever done.
It's a good shoe. Wheel of names. Here we go. Oh boy. There we go. Cheating as always.
Let's go.
Something
Number
has to be
2.
up with this. Something has to be up with
This
this.
is our culture right now, right? It just doesn't punish cheaters.
Whatever happened to karma. All right. BK, you're Jack, what are you gonna pick?
Second.
Man, this dog.
BK, what are you gonna pick? Oh, my sniffling.
Number
and
1.
Sneezing. Numero uno. I'll go third.
Oh my goodness.
You want to take a look at the course map real quick?
Why do you need time?
No, just to see what we're dealing with.
Standard
I've got 'em
course
all
map,
typed in.
but they threw a 1 mile intro. We've seen Rich on this 1 mile intro before.
Hmm?
Long tights, long
Mhm.
shirt,
Long shirt, gloves.
prancing, powering through it.
Major mistake wearing that long sleeve shirt. That was tech material. Cold day,
Stretchy tech too.
stretchy tech. I was still a noob.
All right. So we have our course map. You guys see this?
Nope.
What are we
Nope.
looking at the course map?
Yup.
Just to see. So we've got 2257 elevation gain and loss. Looks
Seems like a
very-
lot.
It does seem like a lot.
Looks very flat
I don't
for
buy
most of
it.
it.
Where is this big incline? Is it just they just loop it back?
Yeah, that-
through?
Unless it's like you go up 20 feet, you go down 20 feet, and
That's
just
200 feet of vert in a climb. They don't have that there.
The second climb
175.
is?
Yeah, 175, 375. No more than 200 feet up ever.
how do they even find a 200-foot section there?
That first hill you could potentially get 200 there.
No,
I
mean,
don't know.
Looking like 150-ish or so.
Yeah, 150 probably is probably closer.
It's
pretty steep.
They found a place with a 34% grade. So
is this just going to loop back through the hills? You think to get back to that?
Just look at that blip. That blip is 200 feet. You don't have 10 of those blips.
No.
Where's
50
this
feet
coming
I'm
from?
I'm taking the under on this one for sure.
Yeah, it might be divided by 2.
Yeah, maybe the ultra.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway,
yeah,
so
I'm not buying it.
You guys have been to this venue. I have not. But it's looking like start over here. Then you just go somewhere out to the west. Looks like you're in the woods for a while. I'm assuming it's going to be muddy.
Woods and riverbank running, and this is the techie side of the course.
Mhm.
And the right side is fields and kind of like dirt road and dirt trail.
Okay. I remember that was when Ryan Kent, he and Woods were on like the tire flat. I remember there was like a gravel section over there. But it looks like
Kent's clumsy ass missed the Z wall.
Z wall.
Me too, though.
Yeah.
I also missed it.
Tyrolean traverse, sandbag carry. That you've got a few things early that might make a difference. And then let's see.
It looks like Tyrolean traverse is super early. If you look and see that it's the third obstacle, and then you look and see that it's almost at the 5K mark.
Probably 5K in, yeah.
So how ridiculous is that? That in the first mile you have 2 obstacles, in the next mile and 3/4 you have, or next 2 miles you have no obstacles.
That is pretty crazy.
You just run from mile 1 to 2 1/4 with no obstacles.
Now, of course, this ending right here, if it's wet, you've got Olympus, Herc-Hoist, and a rig, 3 back-to-back grip things. Might see a couple failures, but probably not.
Yeah,
could happen.
I don't know.
Anyway, that is the general course map. It's looking like standard half marathon distance.
That closing though, in Seattle is on all gravel, generally, which makes
there is
those
a big
areas
incline
drier.
later. There was. I remember there was some sort of technical incline later in the race, at least of course that I did, but it was much later than what it looked like on that course.
But the festival area, what you come into where they plant things like Olympus and things like that, you come in with relatively dry everything, which helps.
That's true. Yes. Jack's Mike's acting a fool.
But yeah, crazy start to this race, which means that these fast gentlemen are going to just test each other speed-wise.
It's going to be fast.
And it's going to be at least 2 or 3 people that believe that no one there can test their running. And I love that setup.
Jack, you're muted. You will remain muted.
Here you go.
I'm trying to prevent that noise earlier. Is that better?
It got better there later.
We'll figure this out for next. But let's see who some of these fast gentlemen are.
All right. So BK, you have first pick.
Okay, so I said this a long time ago. And so I think we've all said this, right? I know Rich for sure you've said this, but Nick Mask is going to just trample people in Seattle. That's what we said.
Jack's been calling that for ages.
9 months ago. And I've been following Nick on Strava because he's one of the only nice people that ever likes or comments my runs. And so he's instantly my best friend. And yes, some people have just come out recently who will make this a little bit more difficult. But I'm taking Nick Mask 1-1-1.
Ooh. We're drafting 3 men, 3 women, 1 wild card.
So it's looking like, I feel like that's fair, just given the women's field.
Yes, totally. Oh man, you sent this and I did not even look at it. I did not look at it. Vivian Trend's not racing.
Okay, she's on the sign up list.
Yeah, I know.
Now I know this could be heresy.
See that, Jack? You see what I just did right there?
You updated.
Hold on. You see what I just did there? I had information. Yeah. I gave it to you.
Okay. Hold on.
There's probably some secret that second column. It's all
Bianca.
Yeah, that second column has like
petroleum
on it. Yeah.
Blank.
Esther's over there.
White font.
I'll change it to black font. Look, see it's black right there. There's nothing.
Yeah. Oh, you guys didn't know that? Oh.
So Nicole Miracle is the obvious pick. But Nick likes my stuff on Strava, and that's all it takes.
Kudos go a long way.
Yeah. A long way.
Yeah.
It's in my will.
I think Nick is going to be deadly here. He has one of the top 5 or so fastest times ever in a beast, and it was like an hour 26 at this venue. That's just foolish.
It's
So
crazy.
fast.
He thinks he's in what do we say, 225 marathon shape?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good luck. And he can obstacle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you took Nick. I'm going Nicole.
Yeah.
She should win this on the women's side. Like, she's got to be the heavy favorite in terms of a flat, fast, runnable course. But we said the same thing in Costa Rica. Fortunately, she doesn't have that 7-month, no racing window that she had before FISO. So I think that she'll be a little less rusty, but this on the women's side should be her race to lose.
Absolutely. She could be top 5 overall.
I would be very
Nicole
impressed.
of old.
The
men's field's pretty good.
It's pretty
I'd
good.
be very impressed. She's top.
But
like
I think
7
if
or
you
8.
lined up all these men in just let's call it a 13-mile, a half marathon trail race on this course, Nicole at her peak, I'm taking her top 5.
I'm not.
You have Sean, Nick, Manuel, Balin,
Rylan.
Okay, so 6. I think that she would be pushing Ian Hosick on flat trails at non-altitude.
All right.
That's disrespectful to him.
I'll agree with it. I agree with that. Okay.
Back to back. You're in a good position, Rich.
There's a lot of good names out here. But I'm going to go, we're drafting how I would draft for High Rocks. So I'm going to go Lauren Weeks.
There's nothing wrong with that at all.
No. On the women's side, after she just murdered everybody in Utah, like actually. And the names on here, there's nobody outside of like Nicole that would have been in that race that I'd be like, oh yeah, that would make sense. Like who got second in Utah?
At a half marathon flat than she would be in the mountains based on the flat half she's running, 8 miler and things like she can just flat out run these days.
Lauren Weeks went sub 18 for her 5K split in her DEKA Fit when she ended up running that 31:58. And
that's kind of
you just saw Grayson Kilgore and David Magida and several others run 18 minutes plus. Her flat running is as good as anybody.
No, I'm in a bit of a predicament here.
See that pre-workout chug?
What'd you got? You got some big time beta alanine in there? How much caffeine's in that thing?
That was 1 hundo. I already had a little this morning.
Hunder's not too crazy. You got some beta alanine? You get some tingles?
We're about to get some tingles here.
I'm for.
So we got 20 minutes, and then I'm either working out or I'm working out.
I'm. This is hard. I'm gonna take Sean Roberts.
That's who I was gonna take next.
He's the smart pick who hasn't shown it at Spartan yet, but how can he not, right?
I mean, with a course that looks like this, we know the obstacles are not going to be an issue for him. He's going to be better at obstacles than Nick, but I don't necessarily know this duration.
Think he's going to be better at obstacles than Nick?
Yeah.
Sean, absolutely, yeah.
I don't think Nick would do very well in like a Savage.
Oh, sorry, I meant these obstacles.
I think if you're better at Savage, then you would be better than these, like head to head. Like it's not going to be as big of a gap because these obstacles are not so hard. But yeah, if they like lined up again and against each other in multi-rig, like I think Sean would get through before Nick would.
Yeah.
I just don't know
the Savage series.
This duration though is it's a little strange.
But if it's a half marathon duration versus a 3.5 hour that we saw in Austria for a beast, that changes everything. I think Sean can fake a half marathon.
Agree. And it's just like, will he show up?
He will. I texted him last night. He's shown up.
We've been here so many times, Jack.
I know. He actually texted me.
The things you say when you say that, I'm just like, that doesn't hold a ton of water for me. Jack, you're up.
All right.
Jack is an optimist
about
racers showing up.
And that's okay. It's not your fault.
I got Vivian Tran wrong. All right. Well, I'll lock up the women. I'll go Rose Wetzel. I feel like she is probably head and shoulders above, not head and shoulders, but she should be on the podium in this race. She's lived in the Pacific Northwest before. this seems like a good course for her. And she's always on the podium in National Series these days, still a decade later.
I think she's the obvious choice there.
Yeah. Okay, BK.
I would not have picked this person except they just threw down a very high intensity race with kind of shocking results. So Ryan Shadig.
It's intriguing right now.
Shadig. He's someone you don't root against. I mean, he's someone you don't bet against very often because he's the consummate race. He's just a racer. He just out kicks whatever you think of him more often than not. And he's been in such a weird place for so long that when he showed up and just ran a ridiculous DEKA mile, then it's like, all right, so if you can breathe during that, you can breathe during a half marathon.
Right. Yeah.
So,
it's like, depending on what kind of reactions he does get from whatever he's experiencing, like if it is like if it goes longer, like fatigue or who knows what that is, but he has had some sort of cardiovascular respiratory, I believe. And we don't know.
No.
but
he claimed
he's really good. He's fit. He's fit.
He claimed he was running 430 to 450 on every straightaway of DEKA. Now, who knows what that really means, but it means that he can probably run 520s. So, yeah, why not?
Who knows?
Why not? He's a North American champ already.
In a wet, colder climate at Kelowna, he did the same exact thing a couple of years ago. It's just, can he race 90 minutes right now?
Right.
Given his respiratory issues.
BK again.
This is what I'm really torn on. I'm taking Balin Bean.
Dang. Just not even worried about the ladies.
No, I'm just going all in on the men right now. It was him or Manuel Defoe in my eyes. And I think Balin he has that Nick Mask vibe to me right now. He's just kind of got it. He's rolling.
Gonna do well. He's going to do great.
And he's healthy and fit. And this is a good terrain and distance for him. He's a West Coast trail runner. Let's take him.
How can't you be feeling good if you're Balin Bean? You have 2 National Series podiums this year. I think he lives in Washington, so it's not far from him. This is good.
This is home soil, his terrain. Manuel has proven to be able to do everything anywhere, but you still have to travel. You still have to get it right. And he still has injury concerns. So give me the hometown boy. We've proven over and over and over the hometown people do well.
He could win this race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could realistically win this race.
Yes, he could.
Good pick.
All right. Well, I was going to hopefully have my choice of either Manuel or Balin, but Manuel seems to be the pick. All that he did last year was get 3rd place at every single National Series race. He came over this year. Chris Brown had the spear throw controversy right there, which moved Manuel into 2nd place at Big Bear. But jet lag does not seem to be a factor for Manuel Defoe. So got to go with him.
Yeah, definitely. How is it this duration?
This will be good. He can race supers that are often 80, 90 minutes. I would be willing to bet that this finishing time will be pretty similar within about 10 minutes of what the Big Bear Super was. I think it's going to be a fast course.
Okay. I think it's fair. All right. I'm going to go Cassandra Gill.
Okay.
She's been racking up podiums.
Yep.
Whenever there is a Spartan to be had on a variety of courses, it seems like she's one of the athletes who can battle for, if there's a podium spot here, if something happens, if it is wet, there's missed obstacles, she should be right in that chase pack.
Yeah. She's got that top end speed also, 35, 36 minutes for a 10K in college, right?
That's pretty good. BK, what you got for 10K right now?
Sub 40 for show.
Yep.
I'm going to positive split pretty big time.
Then I'm going Ian Hosick.
Yeah. He's got to.
Yeah.
He performed. We didn't talk about him much. He performed much better than I thought he could at FISO.
Yeah.
especially compared to last year, for where he lives. One of the hardest things is to train above 9,000 feet and have any sort of sea level flat ground speed. It's very difficult to do. And he did much better than I thought he would.
Wasn't he not in the final results though? I thought we were
He
trying
was
to
for a
find
bit.
him.
I'm based off when he first crossed the line. He had a very respectable. He was going to be
like
right
8th
around
or
that
9th.
10th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever happened, I don't really care about because that's not going to happen at Spartan.
You say.
All right, Jack, you're
Those
up.
obstacles won't be there at the very least.
Yeah. Give me Faye Morgan.
Took it right out from underneath. BK
Yeah.
was like, I'm just gonna go all dudes. I'm gonna get Faye when it comes time.
Not happening.
Jack,
The fifth woman off the board. She's always
Kinda-
misreliable.
don't want to stick in your spokes, BK. Now what are you gonna do?
Pout.
Gonna pout.
Oh,
Gonna pout.
yeah.
I think that's the appropriate move.
My only hope is that she's brand loyal. She knows that we've been a team from the start and she's going to hold out.
Just throws this thing.
Yeah.
Faye's on Team Jack.
So I'm going to take a double pack here of Ashley Heller and Jordan Hausleden. Hausleden?
I think the first sounds better.
Hausleden.
I'm going with OCR experience and proven results. Seattle, if it goes off kilter, it goes really off kilter. If there's moisture.
I've been there.
Rich has been there. I have been there. Jack doesn't know it, but he would have found a way to cut the course. Yeah. And these two are proven commodities, and they've been doing well.
Kirk had a real rough one with me that day. We looked at each other. We were failing vertical cargo with the table.
Yeah,
we couldn't get onto the table, and we looked at each other like, "What do we do here?" Like, I don't know.
Were you near Kempson at that point? Was he failing near you?
He was. No, he was a little bit. He was failing for sure. I think he missed monkey bars that day, right? Which is unlike him. I thought so. It was gnarly. It was so cold.
Kempson was
med
really
tent
wet that day.
Yeah, I finished the line. I crossed the line in 12th. Woke up in 17th because Spartan does stuff like that. I'm like, cool. Guess I finished 17th here. No explanation. Just 17th.
Is that the worst national series finish out of any of the hosts here? 17th place.
The worst? No, I finished worse.
At a national series between us three and Kirk?
17th?
No.
Kirk was 18th once in
well, Big Bear, I was like 20 something at
Palmerton.
Yeah.
When Lindsay stole my spear.
I was like 25th at Breckenridge one year.
Oh wow. I guess I didn't realize how bad you guys could be on your
little did you know.
Yeah, we actually raced though, Bracken. So
I think national series. Come on. Throw me back a decade and I was there.
We're not talking about a decade, yeah.
Look at my screen name. I'm not ducking my reputation. I have the worst worlds finish.
What was that?
If you count the women, 52nd. If you don't, 48th.
Oh no. No, I got like 72nd one year. It was real
sweet.
bad.
Thanks.
Yeah, I was always in the 30s.
Yeah,
generally in the 30s.
All right. Back to who's actually racing. Dark horse podium pick. Just won Kelowna. Brendan Neely from Canada.
Ooh, good one.
He I want to say he was like 7th or 8th when all the really good Sean Stevens when he got on the podium when Rylan won in Kelowna a couple years ago. He can run with anybody, and I am very confident in Brendan potentially ending up on the podium here, but likely in the top 5.
Have we seen him on a course like this?
He can run fast.
I'm not doubting that. I know he's done well in the mountains.
He'll be good.
Yeah, he's a monster. I'm not taking anything away from him. I just didn't know if we've seen him here or anything like this.
What's
like Red Deer or something?
Yeah, I was going to say Red Deer's flat.
I think he was on the podium that year when Mick got.
And that was
in that race when Mick got DQ'd.
He beat Mick recently, but I think Mick was hurt.
I think he's done fine at Red Deer. I think he's been on the
podium.
podium.
He looked good against Mick. The one Mick hurt his heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked good.
Or that race when Mick got DQ'd, did Sean win that race? Who won that race?
I don't know, but
who ended up with being the winner?
Brendan Neely ran a 10K in May.
Under 40?
Road race. What do you think
Under
it was?
33:30.
Rich?
34 flat.
32:19. Got wheels.
Pretty good.
That's OCR fast.
That's very OCR fast.
Yep.
What's your 10K time that you need to be able to compete on this course for top 5? What would you put it at? Flat road.
About that.
30 to
Say in the 33,
slower
30
than
or under.
that. Slower than that. I was gonna say 34 flat. Yeah, I think for 34 flat
Okay.
would just be. Yeah, that's
So 32?
32-19, and that was months ago, and all he's done is won races since then.
16-0 back to back.
16 flats. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you'd be fine doing 17 flats back to back.
That means he could probably win a High Rocks World Championship.
Seems likely. Put him in. All right, I'm up. I'm taking Chloe Malikian. Is that how we say that, Jack?
Yeah. that
Great
sounds about right.
Malenko.
Bang. Yeah,
She's got a bunch of wins.
She's been on the scene this year. She's out there. I feel good about this. This women's field's good too. This did actually assemble the best women in the US, at least in North America. So yeah, this should be mission accomplished from that perspective. How did Nick Mass get into this race?
We told him go.
I don't know.
I thought there was
Sign
some sort
up.
of I thought there was a qualifier. I thought there was
yeah.
a gate that was kept. He just jumped over that shit.
I don't know. I don't know if they like
question.
made exceptions for people who have national series podiums in the past, or if they just gave up on that policy. But
They're like, nobody's signed up.
yeah,
That is good. Yeah, and I was wondering which one did Hosick do?
and Ryland.
Yeah, they may have just said no. Yeah, we changed our minds, which is it's within,
the
That's
realm of
something Spartan-
possibility, as they would have said on our call.
that's something Spartan might have done. Like, we said that.
Yeah.
Nah.
Or is this a case of people signed up and haven't been told that they're not allowed in?
And they're showing up for the.
Like, is this Sydney McLaughlin trying
to?
to sign up for Diamond League final events
You
that
can't
she's
do
not
it.
eligible for?
Yeah.
It might be. Yeah, Sean ran Big Bear, right?
There's a chance
Sean ran
that
Big Bear. Yep.
my picks don't get to race.
That'd be so nice. That'd be
yeah. Top 2 picks actually.
Yeah.
Fine. That's good in a best 6 out of 7 or 5 out of 7, I guess.
And then give me Jonathan Stern here.
Justify that.
No, he's a
Great
tough
games.
competitor.
Yeah.
We've seen him.
What's your dossier on him?
I thought we've seen him somewhere else too.
Yeah,
earlier
I thought he
this
was
year.
at Utah. I'll look it up real quick, but I thought he's done like great games in the past, right?
I just expected you to take John Howard.
That's Jack's boy. John
Yeah.
Howard's he's gonna be racing mad after Jack
After
just
getting
skipped out
screwed.
on that sled. John's like, I need to get my podium, my number 1 back. Give me that triangle.
Yeah, I thought Jonathan Stern did race in Utah, but apparently not.
I saw him somewhere. I don't
Yeah.
know. Jack, who you taking?
Regardless, I'm actually taking a surprise pick, Bracken. I will let you have. No, I'm just kidding. I'm taking John Howard.
Yeah.
I already have 3.
Oh, you already have 3 too, don't you,
Wild
Jack?
card.
You can't.
No.
Oh, we're going back for wild card. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
just
did-
picked
wait,
in
how's
order.
Yeah, John just got a 2nd place, his first podium at DEKA Fit this past weekend, and always Mr. Reliable. He'll probably finish in that 8th to 10th range, like at most national series races. So, Mr. Reliable, that's all you can ask for.
This race could very well come down to Jonathan versus John for who's going to take 2nd
Yeah,
in this draft.
BK, you're not gonna.
But to round it out,
you're not assembling a field here. I don't think.
I may not finish if they gatekeep. I'm in trouble. But if they're not gatekeeping, we should just fly out, recreate a little hypothermia.
It looks like it's too nice.
It's too nice.
Yeah.
It's not for
It's
us.
too nice.
How do you recreate hypothermia for people?
just ice
You just
bath?
do it again.
Bro, okay.
That was an easy answer. Rachel
All right.
Munoz.
You got to. Yep.
Yeah. Or
I was,
Munoz.
gonna say you've got 2 picks back to back, but
I think she's about as trustworthy as they come.
All right, BK, wild card.
Yeah, KBB.
Damn,
I can assure you he's not going to be there.
dude, he might be
He's
there. then.
He's announcing the rut.
No, he might still be
But-
there.
All right.
I was
So
gonna
if
take
you want him, if you want him.
Yeah, I raced
Uh,
KBB in that Seattle race, and he was worse at obstacles than I was that day. It was crazy.
I very
He was
rarely
fat.
do this, but I have a phone call coming in that I need to take.
All right,
I'm
Matt-
muting.
Matt B. Davis move
Get
right
out of
here.
there. style.
All right, well, he's done anyway.
Yeah, he's done. He can go on his workout. Let's go Al Gonzalez. He was in Utah. He finished about 5 minutes behind Ethan Brown. So that's pretty comparable to where I'd be. So throw him in the mix.
Nice. All right. I'll finish up with Noel Morrow.
Why is that? Boom.
And how many are we going to score?
I think we do 5. If we pick 7, it's top 5.
Okay. We typically score 7.
Yes. Well, normally if I do 7, if we pick 7 and we score 5, if it's score 7, then we get the full list. So that's what we've got. So yeah, recap on the teams. I guess we'll cover this for Bracken. So he picked Nick Mask first.
Nick Mask.
I think that's a very, very strong chance of winning. I really want him to win in a Seattle course because he's got that reputation of this course and it's overdue. But Rylan Shadegg,
that's our boy,
man,
fantasy league.
Yeah. But
Lean, mean, Balin Bean.
Yeah.
That's a stout 3-headed monster for the dudes.
Young also.
Very good team.
Yeah.
Dudes.
Ashley Heller, Jordan House Sladen, who I think was she 3rd in Jacksonville, Jordan?
I don't know.
I forget. Rachel Munoz and Chris Brown. So he's
KBD.
not getting any points for Chris Brown. I assure you he will not
he
might
show up. He might show up.
All right. I took Nicole Miracle, Rose Wetzel, Manuel Defoe, Faye Morgan, Brendan Neely, Jonathan Howard III, and Al Gonzalez. So I'm pretty much going on team age 35 plus. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, how old's Brendan?
I don't know. I think he's a little bit younger.
He might be younger.
Yeah, I don't know Al's age either, but I've got 5 people who are at least 35 years old.
How old's John?
We'll see what happens. I'd say 37, 38. I think he's a couple years ahead of me.
Yeah.
But he doesn't look it. Like he's obviously younger. Fit, but good.
Whoa.
You get what you pay for.
Come on.
Got a sleep timer on those things.
What the heck?
I didn't see anything.
Put that back on. Didn't give it a full charge. Is that all it's going to go?
Rich, you doing your team?
Lauren Weeks, Sean Roberts, Cassandra Gill, Ian Hosek, Chloe Malikian, Jonathan Stewart, Noel Morrow. So got a couple dice rolls out there.
Still got a pretty, I think Chloe's actually going to do pretty well. But the thing that scared me away from picking her instead of Faye Morgan was that she signed up for Elite in Big Bear and then decided day of to do age group. So I was like, but I think she has the potential to go 5th or so if she ends up racing this.
I like the Cassandra Gill pick.
Fast.
I think, if there is like the podium, you think the top 3 would be pretty set. Lauren's a bit of an unknown. I mean, but she killed everybody in Utah. She's done Spartan in the past.
Yeah. Prop bet. Who's winning the women's race after 2 miles, Lauren or Nicole?
I mean, it's not like Nicole's not aggressive.
I know, but neither is Lauren.
So there's no real obstacles.
No, 2 things. It's like over under and then
it's still Nicole's still going to be.
Nicole's still
going to.
Yeah. But cool. Well, that
anywhere to watch this thing?
Yeah, Bracken. We're on the mic.
What?
Not live?
Monday.
Monday.
Gotta make sure it's nice and crystal clear, like Rich's camera right there. Guys. And then no spoilers. Don't message us. Don't tell us the results. We're gonna try to keep it a secret until Monday.
You're not gonna even watch it?
No.
Easy for me. My weekends are at the track now. I'm locked into the redneck life.
Yeah. I did that for Palmerton and Utah. Like I try staying off social media for a couple days. Avoid spoilers.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. BK,
did you guys agree while I was off that I have the best team?
Yeah.
Team does look
high potential.
Your dudes look great
if they can race,
which is what's important to BK
analysis,
which is great for BK.
So you've got the young team. I've got the older team.
That's right.
Yep.
Who knows? This should be fun. The assembled field does look good. We don't know if they're keeping the gate or if they're just like, that was silly. That was stupid.
What if they
But they
make
just
them
forgot.
run
They might have just
elite
forgot.
afterwards,
Well,
not pro?
They just announced they're getting rid of the stupid single heat that they switched to this year, and now they're going
Why was
back
that
to
stupid?
I actually I lied. That's a better method, realistically.
Mhm.
When you
Now-
think about it.
Now they're separating it.
Now they're going
out.
back to what we've had the past several years, where it's elite and age group.
So we're gonna get like 3 people in elite races again.
Probably, yeah,
People with cherry picking.
plenty of them.
And what they announced something else, right? 4 out of 5.
3 out of 4 or 4 out of
3 out of
5
4.
something next year. Yeah.
Do we have any sites locked in that they've said? Any locations? Are they announcing anything yet?
I just saw general headlines before I hopped on the flight, so
Then
didn't
no.
really get a whole lot.
Or maybe.
Maybe. I'm willing to bet Jacksonville, Big Bear, and Utah are probably part of this thing. And we know that next year Trifecta Worlds is at West Virginia, right? So
Yes.
that won't be part of the series, presumably.
We say it every year that we consider going down to Jacksonville.
I don't.
We're
this
going to
the
do
year?
this.
What, February?
Is 2025 going to be the Renaissance year? The year we just go back and do the things we used to do? OCR.
That's right in like
Unlikely.
middle of High Rock season for Rich. He's not messing with that.
Unlikely. I got a sore ankle from running on trails. I'm never gonna go on trails ever again.
He's a house
Never,
cat now.
never happens when you wear ultras. So, just saying.
Well, we'll never find out. We'll never
False.
find
We
out.
watched Chris Rogloski roll her ankle in ultras on camera.
She was doing too well. She had to slow down.
Yeah, now I will say that ultras are not made for front running. She was not in the right shoe. They weren't prepared for that to happen.
BK, what you got on TRP?
We did so we've been talking about surviving the summer and just get to fall and your fitness comes around because you don't feel like death anymore. But this was for people who didn't quite survive it, burnt out, lost all motivation to figure, just like didn't get it. You're in the doldrums and you're not getting out. When do you pull the plug? How do you pull the plug?
All
How do
right,
you get back on it?
Rich, how was that? How was that Nick Bear talk?
Nick Bear. It's great.
Good
Got an
guy.
issue with that, man.
What?
Back in the day, Hunter and I had a little quid pro quo. He said, "What do I have to do to get this going?" And I said, we need Nick Bear.
To get what going?
Something we were working on. I don't know if we were doing like OCR star promotion or whatever. I'm like, just Nick Bear. It's just going to take Nick Bear. And so he started up a group chat with him, Nick Bear, and myself. And Nick just
It's like,
dragged his feet.
Why would I help you clowns with this? I have
Yep.
way better things to do.
We never got it done. And then he went on your show.
He listened to our show. He reached out to us.
I get it. He's entering the High Rocks world. It's the smart move for him to get on the biggest High Rocks podcast in Colorado.
Maybe.
And so I don't have an issue with him. I'm salty and butthurt and feeling a bit mugged off.
Great dude. Down to earth guy from central Pennsylvania.
Oh,
So we knew he kept it real. But yeah, it was cool. It was great. Great to have him.
Good pull.
Yeah. But not anything we did, but he just
How's that episode doing?
great.
It's doing all right.
It's doing just fine.
yeah.
Did he post it?
He shared something that we put together for like a teaser, and that like a reel we usually get whatever, like 6,000 views. It has like 100,000 views.
Yeah, he thinks it's probably because of him, but I think we know it's your new lights.
Mhm.
Well, it's gonna be now. You guys, I can't believe you guys just sat there and talked about anything other than how awesome I look on this camera right now. It seems unlikely that was not in your brain the entire time. Look, I'm like popping out of the screen.
Yeah,
You
I'm
guys
not
are-
drinking
you guys are
pre-workout.
flat. You guys are
Rich
flat
is
as
in
a board.
4D right now. You're in an extra dimension.
Haterade is all I'm consuming.
You guys are on flat like a board. I'm out here
Lame.
popping. I'm ready for social media,
Yeah.
even though my
All right.
light went out. All right.
Bracken, go do your workout.
Nice job, guys.